Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. So I've been in a lot of traffic this morning. I figured I'd do a video, just kill some time. Usually I'll go on Reddit and I'll check out best of Amazon Prime or best of Netflix and try to find movies that I haven't heard of that might be interesting. Sometimes I'll just start searching for things like B-movies that are cheesy or funny, cyberpunk films maybe that I haven't seen, especially independent and B ones. So I was off yesterday and I had a little free time after I finished up what I had to do, and I found this movie on both Netflix and Amazon, so if you have either one you can watch it there, and it's called Jackrabbit. Jackrabbit came out in 2015 and it is a indie movie, a cyberpunk film. I can't recall the name of the director or the writers, but it was pretty good. I mean, it stuck with me. I liked it. It just was very slow. So the main part of the story is there's two characters, Simon and Max, and Max is very kind of like, I don't want to use the word grungy looking, but I guess long beard, dyed like longer hair, and Simon looks very straight-laced, short, tight haircut, more meek, while Max is more outgoing and forward and aggressive in a way. So a very odd pairing. And the main overarch of the story is there's this company called Vopo or Volpo, I can't remember exactly what it's called, and this almost like apocalypse type thing happens, or some kind of catastrophic event. They don't really fully explain it from what I remember. And this company helps, takes all the technology and helps everyone and gets everything back on their feet and starts building cities. But the only technology they give to the cities is old technology from the 80s and 90s. So while all these people in, I think it's City 6, all these people in these communities are using dial-up and, old payphones and floppy disks and stuff, Volpo or whatever is using T1 connections and fiber optic and whatever the high-end crap is. And they kind of have their thumb on these cities, and they sort of run it like government organization that's using force, and there's a curfew, and it's like kind of very ominous and dark feeling in a way, the city that they're in. So I keep going to say Sam and Max. It's not Sam and Max. It's Simon and Max. Max goes to his friend Eric's wake. Eric is a good buddy of his who killed himself. And this part I missed, actually. I read about it later. But at the wake, he sees Simon there. And, they realize they both lost their mutual friend. And then they run into one another later at a computer shop. So Max is like a scavenger. He goes around the community and he breaks into places and whatever, and he steals old computer parts and then sells them to computer shops for money, and that's how he makes ends meet. He also is like a hacker, so he can log in to do certain things and whatever. That aspect of the movie I really liked. I like watching the old technology. I thought the cinematography was very good and interesting. I like how they, focus really on old-fashioned 90s sort of tech. Kind of reminded me when I was a kid. So, the only part of the movie I really didn't think it was great was that it was a pretty slow film. So he goes to these computer shops and he sells these things, or he's selling this thing today called Tetris. Now, I don't think it has anything to do with the video game. I think it's just a term they're using in the film as old computer tech. Sort of like William Gibson, when you read his novels, all his cyberpunk books talk about things that don't exist, but he's making up new terms for them. So he goes to sell this thing, and the computer repair shop's like, we'll give you $20 if it works. And he's like, whatever, that's not a lot, but whatever, it's worth more. He's starting to get frustrated. And behind the counter, he sees Simon, his friend Eric's friend. And he starts trying to engage him, and Simon won't engage. Very quiet, like I said, kind of meek, very different than Max. All the while, Max is getting these messages on his computer from someone named Sexy Beast 666, And they're like, this isn't a game, what are you doing? You have to do this, and they're like sort of giving him hints and dictating to him, but he has no idea what they're going on about or who they are. And that's the part of the movie that some people may not like. This movie's sort of ambiguous in ways. They never explain certain things. Who's Sexy Beast? Why are they writing to him? You know, what was the end goal of that? Like, there's certain characters that come in that they don't really flesh out or explain. In a sense, it's kind of annoying, but it also is interesting because it's just like life. You know, you're going through life, you meet people for a blink of an eye at like a 7-Eleven and talk to them. You never see them or meet them or know their name or anything ever again. So I got where it was going, and I like that, but I can also see some people being turned off by that. So anyhow, Simon and Max eventually link up, and Simon is sort of trying to help Max figure out what happened to their friend Eric, why he committed suicide, where he was before he died, like why he killed himself, all this stuff. And they go on this little adventure together, meeting people. Max is getting things in the mail, like computer programs, and Simon's helping him hack into them. And they're going in and, like, you know, there's video clips, and they're trying to find out who made the clips or who's in the video, and they start tracking those people down. So it's sort of like a detective-type film or thriller, maybe. But again, very slow. I don't know if I mentioned this. I thought I did, but this is my second take. This movie, Jackrabbit, is only out on Amazon Prime and Netflix. There is no physical copy. I looked for a DVD. I looked for a Blu-ray. It doesn't exist, according to my, you know, quick research. Sorry about that. If I can't talk, then I can't do a video, right? Whew. So, they go on this adventure together, and meanwhile, Simon gets a job in this company, Vopo, the government, like, sort of run company that runs everything, and he's now torn between, you know, being a company man or helping Max. And Max is sort of going further and further away from, you know, staying in this, like, rundown, curfew-driven city. He wants to, like, leave, and you're not allowed to do that. It's illegal. So there's sort of this inner turmoil with himself, Simon. It was an interesting film. I think I would recommend it to people who like slow cyberpunk movies. If you're looking for something fast or upbeat or with any kind of action, don't watch it. You really have to pay attention to the dialogue, to the things they're doing. You can definitely tell the movie is an indie film, but I thought it was shot very well. Someone online, a couple people actually, that the sound mix was off and that you can't hear the voices, but you could hear the sound effects really loudly. I didn't have that issue, so I don't know if they remixed it or if they watched it on Amazon and I watched it on Netflix, and maybe the thing that was submitted to Amazon was different quality. I'm not really sure. If I do watch it again, I'll probably end up watching it on Amazon just to see if it's any different. But it also seems like the kind of movie that you can watch more than once and sort of pick up little things or find out a little more each time you're watching it. So I think that's kind of cool. And even that slow burn stuff doesn't really bother me. I just have to be in the mood for it. Like, I love movies like Lords of Salem, but I have to be in the mood for them. I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to talk about. You could tell there's some, like, inspiration to old, like, you know, William Gibson cyberpunk novels or, you know, short stories like Johnny Mnemonic, but there's nothing blatantly, like, stolen, really, from other media, I would say. I hadn't heard about this movie until I was just kind of flipping through trying to find something that was cyberpunk, and I came across it and read the description. If you had to ask me for, like, a grade, I would say like a 6.5. I think it was good. I think it has its audience. I think a lot of it is ambiguous, which some people will like and some people won't. And the slowness will probably turn people off, and the low budget. But I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I'm interested to... I would even be interested... I don't think they can do a sequel, but if they were to do a sequel where now... whatever, one of them is on their own and you get to see different parts of what they're doing now, or I would watch it, and I would watch this again. I think it was interesting enough. So Guys, check out Jackrabbit on Netflix or Amazon Prime if you have either one and feel like a slow cyberpunk film, but you might have to pay a little attention to. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.